right now we're going to focus on our guest. And before we bring Bill Tompkins on, we're going to take a look at a video. Wow, that's a great video there, Bill. And welcome to WIN TV.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Bill Tompkins, President and CEO of the Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, who accepted the position in August. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Okay, doke. So I like that. You know, your theme, what is it? Move. I forgot the words already.
Think, move, grow, come to Montgomery County.
Why? Why should people think, move, and grow and come to Montgomery County?
Well, we're all fortunate to be in the DMV. I grew up here, as you did, and it's a great region no matter where you are. But when it comes to doing business and living where you do business, Montgomery County has it all. It's not just because we're the most highly educated population group in the DMV, one of the wealthiest in the country. The resources that are here are just unbelievable. And it's not just about the businesses that are here. You know, a lot of people don't realize that we're the hospitality capital of the world. You've got Marriott, Sodexo, Choice Hotels, all right in downtown Bethesda. We've got life sciences companies, and many of the life sciences companies that helped us through the pandemic are based or have significant assets right here in the county. We're also a great green space, parks, housing. It's not just about doing business here, it's the environment that you're in. And what I think is incredibly special is that we are the most diverse county in the region and one of the most diverse places in the United States. A lot of people don't know over 150 languages are spoken in the public school system here because there are that many residents from all over the world right here in Montgomery County. So there's a good chance that when you walk down the street, you're going to see someone who looks like you. And that makes it more inclusive. We believe we're an equitable place. Yes, we're pretty liberal, but that's a good thing. So we have something for everybody, not just a great business environment and the resources to go with it, but a great environment to, as a lot of people say, live, work, and play.
Let me jump in, Bill, because, you know, like you said, growing up in the DC area, and it's interesting because when Chocolate City was truly Chocolate City,
right?
As it began to transition, a lot of folks went south to Prince George's County. Mm-hmm. Montgomery County, and I want you to correct me or set the record straight with what I'm about to say, but because so many Black-owned businesses went south, I don't know if there was, if it was a PR thing or if it was some perception about Montgomery County, how we could get more, why a lot of those businesses didn't go, I guess that would be northwest of the district. So mm-hmm. explain that to me and what you think maybe you all may need to overcome as it relates to the perception of Montgomery County in order for businesses to feel like, you know, if they come there, it's a great place to go. It's a great choice.
Sure. So if you look back 30 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer, Montgomery County was 95% white. And it was known as an affluent suburb, very homogenous. One of the things that drove businesses south, let's say into Prince George's County, were everything from housing costs to certain government agencies that moved out there early. The Census Bureau, it attracted a lot of people moving across the border. And Montgomery County was sitting here, I don't want to say fat, dumb, and happy, but definitely paying attention to themselves and not too worried about growth. What's happened over time is that as people woke up, they said, wait a minute, there is a lot here. And part of that is because of the educational system that's here. We've caught up. We've got 18 federal agencies that are headquartered here. And that creates a base. Everybody thinks the federal government is all downtown DC. 18 of those agencies are right here. And that creates an infrastructure. We've got one of the best school systems in the country. And you keep adding that up and people start paying more attention to us being more than just a suburb. We're a place of action, but we're really a place of commerce. That if you have a dream, you can come here and do it. If you're an entrepreneur, you come here and do it. And part of what we are doing, especially going forward, is doing more promotion. We tended to take ourselves for granted and not talk a lot about why it made sense to be here or why it was great to be here. But as we move forward, and this is part of my vision going forward, we've got to constantly promote and compete where people can see us and hear from us.
I think it's great. I mean, the other part to that, though, is now that we're post-COVID, well, not really post-COVID, because every single day I'm hearing about somebody else that's
right.
COVID. But at any rate, I know the mayor of the District of Columbia is talking about the impact that COVID has had on the downtown area with companies workers not coming back. And so we got all these empty buildings. How did COVID impact Montgomery County? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. We were all impacted, but a little bit better insulated for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you look at some of our key industries, like life sciences, you really need people to be at work, at their labs, at their research facilities. And so the vacancy rate was still pretty high, but probably half of what it is in the district. And we've recovered fairly well. I would also say that in terms of the supply and demand of space that was available, I think we're in much better shape because there is so much building that was going on in DC, and still is, by the way, that you had lots of extra space. While we have the 18 federal agencies, the ones that are here need more people to be at work, whether it's NIH, whether it's the FDA, huge facilities. But we were definitely impacted. And our recovery has been pretty good, but we're not back at 100%. I just looked at the unemployment rate. The region is doing pretty well. We're down around 3.4%, which is great. That's almost like no unemployment. So I think the bounce back has been terrific. What nobody knows is what the long-term effect, and I'm talking about 2024, 2025, is going to be on the commercial real estate market. And that's partly supply and demand. That's partly shrinkage. You mentioned that the mayor, in fact, I was reading about this, is sort of saying, well, look, if you're not going to use these offices for work, turn them into housing. Now, practically speaking, it doesn't work that well because there are different requirements, different zoning requirements. Buildings are built in certain ways that you can't just switch it over as easily as people would like. But it's something that we're keeping an eye on at the same time, because I think the federal shrinkage, and anybody who's running a business is going to look at how much space they really need. And exactly. I think when we have one of your guests come on who talks about emotional intelligence and playing in, none of us know where we feel comfortable in terms of coming back to work or this hybrid work environment. I think it is going to be a big mix for a long time, but where there are problems, there are also opportunities to create other business resources that satisfy a more mobile workforce.
I know you're here to open the door wide to invite anybody that has a business and is looking for a location to base their business to Montgomery County. But are there any key areas that you think the opportunities are best for certain businesses? What are some of the key areas?
We've got key areas no matter where you want to go.
Okay.
Whether it's Bethesda, whether it's downtown Silver Spring, whether it's Germantown, Maryland, whether it's Wheaton. We just built a huge new quasi-government office facility in downtown Wheaton, a 14-story tower. It depends on what you want. Some people don't realize that over a third of the geographic area in Montgomery County is part of the agricultural reserve. And it adds a really different and special feeling to the county in terms of lots of open space. And it's not just about farmland. There are probably more vineyards and breweries in Montgomery County than anywhere else in the close-in region. You got to go way out to Loudoun or Prince William, where there are a lot of those. But think about it, whether you want to do that or whether you want to have a hair cuttery, we've got a place for you. And we are very agnostic about where people go because it is such a diverse county. And we've got Metro here, absolutely. We've got sites along the Potomac River. We've got the urban environments. If you want to go to Restaurant Row, you can do that in Silver Spring. You can do that in Wheaton. You can do that in Bethesda. And from my point of view, you don't need to worry about whether there's something here for you. We do have it all. Big businesses, small businesses. We've got about 33,000 businesses here.
Wow.
30,000 of them are small businesses. So that tells you something. It means if they're able to survive and thrive here, anybody can.
So there's so much I would want to ask, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but for businesses that, may even need assistance, right?
Financial assistance.
Real estate, trying to figure out where to
Right.
locate their businesses, financial assistance, or just even if there are, what do I want to call them? Certain programs
Sure.
that, particularly for minority-owned businesses, that allow the government to do business with them. I don't know. We don't use the word set aside. That's illegal.
No.
We can't talk about that. But just certain programs that are available to just
Right.
make sure that there's opportunities. And do they come to see you?
They come to one of two places.
Okay.
They come to thinkmoco.com, which is Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, and we have everything on that website. We even have a special section for small businesses. We have a section on how to start a business, how to grow a business, how to expand. We are a public-private partnership, so we are independent of Montgomery County government, but we represent them. We are their partner. And if you don't come to us, you can just as easily go to the Montgomery County Business Center, which is their business portal. And what you'll see on both is that we cross-reference each other all the time. We're probably on every other page so that they're referring people back to us. And what we say is that there's no door that's the wrong door. Any door you come into Montgomery County, whether you go directly to the government, to the business portal, or whether you come to us at thinkmoco.com, we'll take care of you.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I guess what I was referring to sometimes, the government does a lot of business and contracting, with small businesses, and so that's what I wanted to.
Right. So on the Montgomery County website, there is a special area around procurement.
Okay.
And there's a very specific program where preferences are given not only to underserved communities, but also to businesses who actually are already here. So you get points, you get a discount. And, it's a pretty robust budget, but that's very similar to what other jurisdictions do. We have a very strong program. If you want to do business with the government, we have that set up mostly, and it's through our procurement site. They've got an orientation session. They have open houses, I think once a month. So it's very easy to find out, and there are lots of ways to qualify. So
before we close, since August, I don't want to ask you what keeps you awake at night. I want to ask, what would you like to see as the president and CEO that would let you sleep well at night? What is your vision for Montgomery County?
Our vision is for people, when they think about the DMV, they don't ask, what's that suburb called? It's like, we want to be in Moco. And the more people say, oh, yes, and are shaking their heads, like you started this off with this being a great year, having great conversations. When people go shake their head, yes, I know about Montgomery County. I've been there. I want to be there. I want to be next in terms of success. When I hear that walking down the streets, then I will sleep even that much better at night.
Wonderful. Bill Tompkins, thank you very much for being with us. We're going to talk to you some more, in the weeks and months ahead, because we do want to make sure that our readers, especially, get to know more about Montgomery County and your office and what you all are making available, to the business community. And just a hint for those who are listening, we do our annual African American Heritage Tour. And so we want to talk about some of the historic African American sites in Montgomery County, because we just might be in that neighborhood later this year.
There is quite a bit here. We actually have a heritage tour ourselves, and right down the street from me is the Josiah Henson Museum, which is the location of a former plantation, believe it or not, 5 minutes from my office. There's a lot that was going on here that people need to know about. But It's all good. It's moving in the right direction.
Wonderful. Bill, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All righty. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
All righty.
Nolan, let's continue with you. And you have so many titles. When I started going through all the things that you have done, I said, that's just too much.
Listen, just leave it at hardworking brother.
Yes, thank you. Hardworking brother Nolan Williams Jr. has still got a lot on his plate. You heard him allude to earlier about his commitment to DC statehood. Yeah. I had a chance to attend an exhibition that he curated earlier this year with some students, I believe, that at the Washington History Museum. It was Home Rule 50, and that's, believe it or not, DC wasn't voting in the way that it does today until about 50 years ago. That kicked it off. That was my first year of college. But let's talk about some of the other things you're doing. You produce an award-winning musical, Grace. That's still going on, but share with our audience some of the wonderful things that you continue to do.
Sure. So let me just say that exhibition, DC Home Rule 50, is still on exhibit at the DC History Center. So you can go to the Apple Carnegie Library to the second floor and see that exhibit. It's a beautiful tribute to Home Rule, DC Home Rule, and a reminder of the fact that that struggle is still ongoing, that we still need to persevere until the citizens of the District of Columbia have full participation in our democracy. And, you know, my work is driven by cultural curiosities, civil rights, and social justice. I mean, that's really what much of my work centers around, and I'm always seeking to find ways to engage people around that and to leverage the arts to convene conversations, even sometimes inconvenient conversations. Mm-hmm. And so in that spirit, we're now prepping for Let Freedom Ring. This is I believe it's my 19th year serving as music producer and co-producer of that. And I'm thrilled to partner again through my New Works Productions with Georgetown University and the Kennedy Center, also Nouveau Productions, in bringing that to the community this year. And, you know, that's always a great experience. We are not able to announce the guest artist yet, but, you know, for those who have followed the Let Freedom Ring through the years, you know, we've had Shaka Khan and Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight and Yolanda Adams and Bobby McFerrin. I mean, heavyweights, Brian Stokes Mitchell, Audra McDonald. So I promise that our headliner this year will not disappoint. But then we always add community elements into that as well. And one of the things I can share is that we'll be premiering a work that I've been commissioned by Georgetown to compose that is commemorating the 60th anniversary of Freedom Summer. And I'm very excited that we will be premiering that work. The piece is called Rise Up and Fight. You're hearing it here on the Washington for the first time. That is the name of the piece that we will be premiering. And that actually will be a kickoff for a campaign that we're going to be doing through New Works Productions all next year to commemorate that anniversary of Freedom Summer, and a civic engagement campaign that is purposed to get people mobilized. This is a very important year. 2024 is a very important year that we're about to enter. And it's important that our voices are heard, particularly at the ballot box, that we all work proactively to move our country country in the direction that we think that it should go. And my hope is that everyone will vote. And then once everyone has voted, the votes will all be counted. And then whatever the outcome is, we accept that as a democracy and we continue to move forward.
I love the way that you are able to very easily weave what you do into a significant point in history and a significant place where we need to go. So to make sure that we know not only is it an election year, a very important election year in 2024, but it is also a remembrance of the summer of 60 years ago, the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, 1964.
And also you're able to do the majority of your work under the umbrella of your own production company.
Yeah.
New work, which is I love that as well. You put your stamp on it. We know it is a product of Nolan Williams Jr.
Yeah, and one of the things I've become really good at, Brenda, is going to people who are working in silos and saying, hey, I have an idea, and this idea is in keeping with your mission. Doesn't it make sense that we should all just come together and do this cooperatively? And I've been really good about getting folk to kind of coalesce around that, and I'm grateful for that. But it makes sense that there's greater power when we come together and pool resources and pool our strengths, right? In order to accomplish things that in and of ourselves we can never, do as effectively. So very excited. And let me add, we have a history of doing these civic engagement campaigns. So going back to when we launched I Have a Right to Vote during the last national election cycle, and that voting rights anthem that we released, over 2 million social media hits globally. We had some 30 organizations that partnered with us to push that out. We received 2 media prizes for that project. And we got picked up by all of the mainstream media, from BBC to CNN to Associated Press. It was just a hugely successful project. Similarly with our America Song project that we put out during the last presidential transition, when we were trying to just bring the nation back to a place of recognizing the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power. That project, 1.3 million global views. People just recognizing, okay, there is a certain way that we should transition and we should respect that process. Our Woke campaign, which we launched, which was a digital civic engagement campaign, over 3.5 million views. So we have a little history of doing this, doing pretty successfully. And so I'm very excited about how this Freedom Summer campaign will go. You asked about Grace. So you want to talk about Grace?
We have a couple of minutes to talk about Grace, and it's still riding high.
Grace is doing great. Yeah. And you came to see the premiere of Grace at Ford's, and Brenda,
yes,
you're
I
always
did.
there.
So and as you know, I covered that too.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. So Nicole Salter and I, my co-book writer, we've been doing a lot of work. So let me tell you, there are a lot of changes in store for that project. We think they're great changes. We've had a chance to really learn from the Ford's production, what was working, what wasn't working as well, understand better the story that we really want to tell, to deepen the relationships of the characters. And so we've done a series of work sessions, beginning with going to Orlando earlier this year to work with actors there, and to just see how the first act, as we have retooled it, was coming together, and that was a huge success, thankfully. So now next year we're doing 2 more work sessions. One will be in February here. It'll be a closed kind of reading where we'll bring people together to focus on Act 2. And then in June of next year, we're going to New York, and we're going to do a more structured 2-week work session around that project, bring our investors in, bring industry folk in to kind of see where that project is, all of that leading to the remounting of Grace during the 24-25 theatrical season. Can't yet announce where it's going to be.
Okay.
It won't be here in DC, I can say that. But
Okay.
we're excited that we're going to be testing that project in its new iteration in a different market, all as we tee up what will then be national tour in New York.
Okay, well, I know that you'll keep us informed. We want to
course.
follow you, and I want to again mention the annual Martin Luther King Jr. birthday concert that you do at the Kennedy Center, because it's a free event.
Yes.
And you bring in top talent. Last year it was Leslie Odom Jr., who is having a successful run on Broadway right now with Pearly Victorious. I think one year I came, it was Brian Stokes Mitchell and Audra McDonald together.
Yeah, that was an amazing year.
And that is usually held on the Monday that we observe the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Let freedom ring.
January 15th, Monday, January 15th. Yeah.
And people, you mentioned it earlier, but you have been commissioned to premiere a new music piece with that concert every year. So everyone knows they're going to hear something exciting, new. You put in interesting twists. Like last year, there were high school students, and there was some spoken word. Is that correct when you did that?
Last year, actually, we featured Georgetown students.
Okay, Georgetown students. I'm sorry. Yes, the students from Georgetown University.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful blend of bringing in all the different special qualities that each student was able to bring, and you being able to support it with the orchestration. So this is what we can expect to see next month. Month after next, we're almost in December, but in January, in observance of the Martin Luther King Jr. birthday. And again, I want to thank you for being with us. And this has been a wonderful time to chat with you about what's going on, and to let our audience know that you are the guy that delivers. You deliver wonderful, beautiful works, and we thank you for that. And all the best to you this holiday season.
Brenda, thank you. Let me send people to nolanwilliamsjr.com, NOLAN Williams Jr. JR.com. You can stay connected with me and the work that I'm doing. There's also a link there to New Works Productions, so you can also see the work that I'm doing through New Works. So thank you, Brenda, for just being a great supporter, and thank all of you for taking the time to view.
We thank you for being with us at the Washington Informer. And again, happy holidays to you, and happy holidays to all of our viewers. Take care, everyone.
It's my real pleasure again to bring on our next guest, Sharon Good, the Chief Executive Officer of Wisdom Walkers. And I think we have a brief little video that we're going to do. Okay, all right. So we're going to go with that, and then we'll bring on Sharon. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, Denise. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, I've convinced myself I need to dance. We talked a little bit about yoga off screen, but the best thing to do is that walking. Thank you so much for being with us to talk to us about Wisdom Walkers.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me as your guest.
So tell us, you're a woman who's been involved in, I mean, just trying to keep the body fit, right? And trying to stress that, the importance of that to so many people, and recognizing that age is no factor. Right. So tell us about, the Wisdom Walkers and its history and mission.
Thank you so much. So the Wisdom Walkers was a nonprofit that we formed a couple of years ago. When we decided that, we needed to do something to take our health in our own hands. One of my friend was very young, 40 years old. She died of hypertension. And so I started researching the health disparity in our community, within the African American community, and learned that, we're dying at a very young age. And hypertension, we have the highest hypertension rate in the United States, and more Black women are dying. And so we said, you know what? We can do something. We can get going. We can get moving. So we decided to start walking. So we said, you know what? What we should do is set up some kind of goals so that people will want to kind of get out and take care of themselves. So we decided we're going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And so we set that up as a goal, and we trained for a whole year, and we walked, and we climbed some practice mountains at Old Rag, and we summited Mount Kilimanjaro and became the oldest group of African Americans to ever summit Mount Kilimanjaro. So we were thrilled. We said, you know what? This works. We got everybody kind of going. Let's continue this whole system. So we started doing we call fitness, destination fitness. So we started creating additional types of efforting. And most recently, a couple of weeks ago, we said, let's go to walk the Underground Railroad, the Harriet Tubman Trail. And we took 35 people down to Cambridge, Maryland, and had an incredible weekend learning about the history of the Underground Railroad, learning about Harriet Tubman, going to the museum. But the pinnacle of our trip was that we actually got to walk nearly 20 miles of the Underground Railroad. We felt so honored. And this time we took college students with us. He said, we may be over 50, but we want to make sure the younger African Americans are beginning to get moving, get going, and taking care of their health as well. So we're going to make that a practice. We're going to always take college students with us or high school students with us whenever we go on any of these destinations now.
So let me ask you this question, Sharon, because I, have actually, spent some time out at Anacostia Park walking their path, and I see those who are just taking a stroll compared to those who are actually doing these speed walking kinds of things. When you say wisdom walkers, I mean, what kind of pace are you all keeping in? And you said 20 miles. I mean, that's a real destination. Hopefully that was round trip.
Well, here's the thing. We don't want anyone to feel that they can't come. And so we are walking every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, in Rock Creek Park. And we open up to everyone. We say, just come. And everyone goes, you do your own pace. Okay. Just the idea of getting out into the park, getting outdoors and going out for a walk. It's amazing, Denise, how worries go away, concerns go away. It's kind of hard to be depressed walking in the park or walking outdoors. It's kind of hard to have. Oh, yeah. We reduce your stress. And it doesn't matter about the pace. It doesn't matter if you're trying to break a sweat and do something athletic. It just matters that you're doing something with this body and that you're moving. We think of it as a revolutionary act to decide that, you know what, I'm going to take care of myself and stick around. I'm not checking out here early. I decided to do something, but that's why that's what motivated us to start this.
And is it, you said students, but is it men and women who walk with you as well? Or is
yes. It? In fact, we had men who climbed Mount Kili with us as well. So when we go walking on the weekend, it's largely ladies. There's an African American male walking group as well that meets in the same corner that we made at Piney Branch and West Beach Drive. But we have men and women walking with us. Men and women go with us on our trips and our treks. We don't, we open it to everyone. It's just that when we learned that Black women were dying of hypertension at the highest rate in the United States, we started reaching out to women saying, please come, just do something. Most Black women will do something for their families. They'll do something for their kids. They'll do something for their community or their church, and do nothing for themselves. We said, come, please take care of yourself. Let's get going. Let's get moving. And there's so much camaraderie when we're walking together. It is amazing. So we have, yes, men and women walking with us.
Wonderful. I wish we had posted, because thanks to you, we were able to publish the story about your feat at Mount Kilimanjaro. I know we had a photograph of the group, and it's an amazing story. And I've heard people even come to me afterwards saying, wow, did they really do that? And it was, I hate to say it, but it's because of the age of the group, the members,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm as surprised as everyone else to be in my 70s. I'm like, what? Is this what this is about? So, the thing is that they're just numbers. And, we have people who are walking with us who are 23. And our oldest is 88, and she's been walking now for the last 50 years, and she is a beautiful walker. She can walk 5 miles on a stretch, so it's open to everyone, and just getting going, and it's just the whole movement of walking, whatever the pace is that you have. It's just, that's so uplifting and such a healthy way of being. They had a study that came out this past week that was published in the Post about the weathering. The weathering, in other words, we're aging from the inside out, and we're weathering from stress. And particularly African Americans, we died at 6 years younger than whites. And the reasons that we're weathering from the whole efforting of trying to earn a living, the stress of trying to live in this country. And we can do something. We don't have to just be subject to allow the stress to affect us and just say, oh, I give up. It's nothing I can do. Let me have a piece of cake. No. We can get going. We can drink water. We can walk. We can exercise. We can sweat. We can take care of our hearts. And that's what this is all about.
And if those who are lucky enough to have partners with them, bring them along as well, because, men die much earlier than women.
Yes,
and it's amazing. I think in that article, or one like it, it talked about how Americans are, where we thought the lifespans are getting longer. But I think from a majority standpoint, we're still dying. We're not growing older as a nation.
No, we're not.
And that's the sad part about it. And many years ago, I don't know if that still happens, but there are groups that, they're mall walkers, folks that would go to the mall earlier in the morning and walk the malls. But there's something I think special about being outdoors. Do you all do this like year round?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Only time we're not walking is when it's raining, but we have weather gear. We put on our weather gear and get out there and hit it. It doesn't matter about the temperature. I mean, if we can climb a mountain and be out in 5-degree weather, we have the right, clothing. We layer down and get on out there and get some fresh air, because we really want to inspire and help other African Americans who are getting older to know that you don't have to be subject to the aging process. You don't have to succumb. You can do something yourself. You don't have to pop pills from the doctor. You can get out and do something yourself and take care of yourself. So that's what we're trying to do. That's our mission, and that's what made us form the nonprofit.
Well, if I get a little personal, and my mother watches the show pretty often, Vera Abbott, and I think it's watching today, and she celebrated a really, really big birthday this year. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that when she gave up her car several years ago, she's out on foot a lot, I don't. She hasn't joined a walking group, but she could lead one, most definitely.
That's fabulous. It's amazing, though, Denise. When we're walking together, we have solved some of the world's problems while we're walking. Because you know what happens when Black women get together. We started talking about investments. We started helping people to begin to purchase houses. We started doing things that happen as we walk, because we're walking for two hours a day. 2 hours each time on Saturday and Sunday, and we started solving people's problems. Oh, you know what? I know where you can get a job. You looking for a job? And we tell you about this. So it's really been an interesting experience, which is why we started calling it the Wisdom Walkers, because we started sharing wisdom among ourselves, and it became incredible.
So the nonprofit, tell me about that.
So because we wanted to, because it's destination fitness, and so we're traveling, we wanted to make sure we can take everyone who wants to come with us, the younger people. So that's why we formed the nonprofit. And our website is www.wisdomwalkers.org. And we formed the 501(c) because we wanted to raise funds so we can encourage students to come with us. We're going to December 2nd. We're heading out to Harper's Ferry, and we're going to have a private tour, and then we're going to walk 20 miles while we're at Harper's Ferry to kind of honor the history of African Americans there. We're in March 7th. We're going down to walk the Edmund Pettus Bridge and cross the bridge and walk 20 miles while we're there, and then go to the EJI Museum, the Hanging Museum down in Montgomery. We're taking students with us, when we go. So we're doing, and then in July we're going to climb Machu Picchu and head out to the Inca Trail out in Peru and join together with the Afro-Peruvians and learn about their history.
Wow.
So we want students to come with us. We want people to join us, and we want to be able to enable students. That's why we formed the nonprofit. We want to continue reaching out to educate more African Americans about, yes, let's get going. We don't have to let things happen to us just because we're aging.
I love this because it's not only just walking, but it's, education, it's culture, it's sharing. There's a lot that's here. And so I'm really glad that you were able to share this program with us. Now, the folks that meet at Rock Creek Park, talk about that. When do you all meet? What time?
Every Saturday, every Sunday, we're there at the across from 1800 Piney Branch Northwest, at the Rock Creek Trailhead. And whoever shows up. And we, enter the park. We go inside the park to walk the paths of Rock Creek Park because it's easier on the joints. We go at whatever pace people want to walk, so it's open to everybody. And we just, welcome people coming because it's just amazing what goes on in the park in terms of the healing experience of being out in nature. That's every weekend we're there.
And what time? And what time do you meet again?
8:30.
8:30 a.m. On Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you walk on both days?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what about the rest of the week?
Rest of the week, because we are doing, well, I work out, but we're doing, because we have these destinations, when people sign up to want to go with us on walks, we encourage people to walk on their own. We also have personal trainers who are part of the Wisdom Walkers, and of course, I'm a yoga teacher. So we have people who we have referred and got them in shape for the mountain. I work out with weights and work out all the time. So we have training programs that we make available, as well as referrals to personal trainers, so that people can get going. You want to come with us in Machu Picchu on the Inca Trail? Well, let's get in shape so you can come with us. You want us to walk 20 miles to Harper's Ferry? Well, come on. It's going to happen on the 2nd of December. So we have like 5 weeks. Let's get ourselves in shape during this 5-week period of time.
Well, I was in Harper's Ferry not too long ago. That's a lot of hills.
Yeah.
And so, that is, I understand why you're saying getting in shape. It's important, and it's fun too. It is
a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. We just, we created these destinations. I mean, if you want to come with us to the Edmund Pettus Bridge for March 7th, here's our plan that we're going to do for getting in shape before we start that 20-mile trek. So we're trying to get people to think of the goal of what we're getting ready to experience in terms of the destination fitness, and then they back themselves up in terms of planning how we're going to get in shape to prepare for that.
Wonderful. Well, Sharon, I want to thank you so very much for being with us. We're going to put the website up again. It's wisdomwalkers.org.
Yes, www.wisdomwalkers.org.
Exactly. And you have an Instagram page?
Yes, we do. The Wisdom Walkers.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much. Who knows? You might see me one of these 8:30 in the morning, maybe.
Come on and join us. You'll love it. Trust me.
I know I will. It's, a lot of the hardest part is just the getting up and the getting there. But once you do, it's like, what took me so long? So I hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Denise, for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you. Bo Sampson, Bodacious One, who is sort of well-known in the entertainment community, well-known socialite, and a well-known business owner with a place of fun in the DMV. Bo, welcome to Win TV.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm doing good. I can hear you really well.
If I got any better, I couldn't stand it. That's my father.
Well, I have to say this publicly because, as you know, I saw you not too long ago at the ribbon cutting and groundbreaking of the Go-Go Museum. Yes. And I had the opportunity to interview Spike Lee and Sugar Bear there. And out of the side of the room, you came up with, well, you should have asked about this and you should have asked about that. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you should have done this interview. So
you did a great job. You did a great job.
Thank you. But I'm so glad that you're with us, because you have, a lot of history and a lot of roots in DC. So let's talk about, Bo.
Okay.
Tell folks who don't know who you are, how would you describe yourself?
God-fearing first, family orientated, because that's very important. I got it from my mother and father, Earlene Sampson, Sam Sampson. Sam Sampson's not here anymore, but he's the one that put the seed in me. With my mother, I got my brothers, Mike and Gary and Yolanda. And, I'm family orientated. I mean, hey, I got my priorities based on anything that happens to me. God has elevated me. And so I got a lot to talk about. We got the VIP room, was created by my father, Sam Sampson. And, we just trying to keep the dream alive, keep the family together and be an example for people that you can do it if you trust in God first and pass the ball. Like I was a point guard at Bowie State and Carroll, and I was a point guard. Point guard pass the ball first before he shoot, but we don't know if it's going to come back.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. So, I mean, and then what was your entree into the music industry? How did you get into that industry, and who are some of the folks that you used to work with?
I got in the music business through Bowie State College. Mm-hmm. Bumped in somebody that was in the business, and they introduced me to the business. Everybody wants to find a way to make money off their passion. My passion was sports in the beginning, but God shifted that thing to music, and I stumbled into music. So I worked at MCA Records for 7 years. I worked with, it's been an honor to work with.
What did you do there when you were at MCA?
My job was to create the demand for the artists that were signed to the label. And we had people like New Edition, Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, Patti LaBelle, Gladys. I done promoted from the electric slide to rump shaker, Denise. I mean, I promoted every style of record. Of course, I'm from DC, so I did the documentary with Miss Kathy Hughes. The Beat Don't Stop. We got nominated NAACP. So I was able to, take that journey. You really don't know what you're going to do, but the key factor is to try to put time. You got to put time in anything you want to do. You don't know the end result. It's always going to be some, bumps in the road. But I get it from my family. The VIP was started in 1979 by my father. He used to throw his own surprise birthday parties. Denise, it was crazy. His
own surprise birthday party.
His own surprise birthday party. My father loved life. And it's funny because I tried to do the same thing my 50th. And man, I was before the Black Panther. I ain't getting no nominees because I did the exact same thing. It's real funny, but to enjoy life is very important, but to help people is very important too.
So the VIP lounge is located, the VIP room is located where?
3rd and Rittenhouse. And it's the name of the VIP room came from my father. Very important people. If you come in the VIP room and you ain't a VIP, you turn into a VIP. Now, when you leave, I can't tell you what they're going to do. So we specialize in birthday parties, anniversaries. And if you lead this life, we're going to celebrate your life. That's what it's all about. And my father and my mom, my father met my mother by selling vacuum cleaners. Now, if my mom, Earlene Sampson, didn't buy that vacuum cleaner, I wouldn't even be here today. So he sold himself and the vacuum cleaner.
I tell you that I know about those salesmen. That's a great thing. Now, how did you all survive? A lot of businesses, particularly where restaurants, clubs, what have you. I mean, they were really impacted badly by the pandemic. Sounds like you all had an experience. Talk about that.
I mean, we had to trust God first, but we were booked up for over 2 years and we had to give every person their money back.
Wow.
During that time. But we trusted it came back to us because the people make us, the community make us. We would not be here if the community did not support us. You know, it's a partnership. Even in the music business, I tell these guys, you can't get there by yourself. Then Kentucky Fried Chicken partnered with Taco Bell. Then XM partnered with, you know, Sirius XM. Then the Washington Informer partnered with the people. Matter of fact, they should call your magazine the Washington Informer International, because y'all not just DC, y'all around the world. I mean, this guy that I just listened to helped me, and I'm sure he helped other people, Mr. Laws. Mm-hmm. And you get information is the key. That's why I'm able to do what I do, because I'm a research buff and I try to help people, and it comes back to me. You plant a seed, then you water it. It don't grow right away.
So, Bo, you know, one of the things that, you know, a lot of young artists in the DC area, DMV, are really kind of frustrated about is that, I mean, while we were promoting go-go, and go-go's our music, and you know, we all grew up with that. But, you know, it's interesting. I asked a bunch of young people the other day, I said, if you were to name an artist, a DC artist that would draw a crowd, right? We say such and such is going to be there. They said nobody. There's nobody. So what's happening with DC music? Well, yeah, help me out with that. What's happening? And I want to know. Yeah,
it's not just go-go. It's a lot of successful singers, dancers, behind the scene people that are from DC, and they might have had to move to another location. LA, Atlanta, New York. They're not better than us. The problem is we don't group together. My next mission after 60 years old, which I had the VIP room, I call myself 50 again, like hip hop, because I don't want everybody to know I'm 60. I'm 50 again, baby. That's why I'm
with you. I'm with you.
We have to partner with people. There's not one artist that has been successful, including Beyonce, your Jay-Z's, or whoever you like, has not partnered with somebody. So they got to understand that talent alone cannot get them to the next level. My mission is to take a bus. Now, you got to be on time. When the bus say leaving, you better be there and try to take it around the country and the world with different artists and different entertainers and partner and show people we can do it just as good as anybody in the country on entertainment. But nobody wants to partner with everybody, even with the go-go people. I'm on them. I love them to death. But, man, you ain't getting there by yourself. You can tweet it. You can exit, whatever you want to do. That's my opinion. And I've been in the business 35 years. I got a book coming out, What Does Bo Do? Nobody knows what I'm doing. So I put a book. I got all these comedians roasting me, saying, man, Bo ain't got no job. So what I did is, technically, when I did my birthday party, man, I had people like Belladonna, who's one of the greatest groups, DJ Cool, EU from Sugar Bear, Huggy Lowdown, and Chris Paul. All the radio stations came and supported me. We worked together as a family. It was more fun seeing people together. You know?
Yeah. Especially when we've been apart for 3 years. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal, to partner with people. Only serious people. We don't want no con artists. You know what I'm saying? My father used to call them slicky wickies. Oh, he's a slicky wicky. Now you got two teams in DC. Player hater. Which team you want to be on? So you got to work together. You can't get there by yourself. Nobody has gotten there. There's artists I've worked with, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They were signed for three to 4 years before they put a record out. These guys thinking it's going to happen right away. It's not.
Right.
You know, you got to put your time in. You either doing it for a hobby or a profession.
I want to go back to the book that you produced. Tell me tell me the story behind the book, and when can we get it?
Oh, the first of the year. The book is basically about the insight of my journey in the business. It's not a tell-all book unless you're telling all about me. I ain't pushing somebody down to get on. You know what I'm saying? I got quotes from different people you know and somebody you don't know, because it's talent. We don't get there by ourselves. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to show in the book, you're helping me out right now, basically, because you partner in not only for the VIP, but for other stuff. You're partnering with, like you just partnered with Mr. Laws. You got Renette from Lovely Lady that's coming on. You have to partner with somebody. It's a team effort to make something successful. In my book, it's coming out the first of the year, but what I want to do is something real special. I want to team a bunch of people, experts from all over the country that you don't know, that live right here or from here, and let's show them on our expertise of what we do. I'm considered, I guess, a hype man or whatever you want to call me. And there are other people that do behind the scenes. They're cameramen, there's DJs, they're club jocks, they're promotion people. You got Ramon Baines, who I like to thank, who's probably the greatest publicity business person around the world. Worked with Michael Jackson, everybody. And people don't know who he is. You got a guy like Daryl Stoney who took pictures for my, for the paper that you have in the paper today. I got Miss I got other people, social media people. There are other people that do stuff. People just got to figure out who's who. Now, I'm the old dude in the game, so I can say what I want now. Then I'm 50 again. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, before we close out, because a couple things. One, you followed in Sam Sampson, right?
Yeah, Sam Sampson. We call him Big S.
So, who follows Bo Sampson?
Well, I'm hoping a couple people. I don't like to really. I just my thing is I'm helping somebody along my journey, and I this book. What does Bo do is designed to help people. It got glossary. It got what I did to get there.
Right.
I kept clean. I never had a drug. I wait every Father's Day on the porch. Ain't no balloon showed up. Ain't got no kids. So I did it a different way. You don't have to sell out to get on. I work with different art. I mean, I was in Wale's video, White Shoes, but it was all based on being seen. Sometimes just seeing somebody out. My information comes from research, what people tell me, and then I use that research to figure out what to do, because the business model has changed in America. Music is not bought no more. Streaming is like a timeshare, Denise. You have access to the place, but you don't own it. So people are not making money off sales of music. They're not making or the publishing, mostly somebody done sample somebody, so you got to pay them. So if you're not popular enough, you cannot get shows. Somebody's gonna hire you to make them some money. So if you're not popular enough to draw a crowd, then you can't make no money off of it. So it create demand supply, the old formula.
Well, that book sounds like a textbook as well, because the study of your life is a textbook of the industry, and it sounds like you're dropping some really, really great gems for people, particularly again these younger artists that are trying to figure out what this new entertainment paradigm is. But at the VIP room, we're coming up on the holidays.
Yes,
right?
Please call us. Please, pretty. You can go to Lovely Lady and buy your outfit. Then you go across the street and get some food from Peaches. Then you got the barbershop on the block on Rittenhouse to cut their hair. So we got the whole thing in the 3rd and Rittenhouse block. You can come to the VIP room. If you want to be very important, we're going to make you feel very important. But if you leave there, I can't guarantee what people are going to do after you leave the premises. It's a 24-hour set. We give you 4 hours to do what you do. We include DJs. We got the best balloon lady, cheats. We got photographers. Man, we got the whole ball of wax. You ring and we bring.
So how do folks reach you? You got an email address, a phone number?
Or you can go to you can call 202-545-1755. You can either call myself, my brother Mike, or Gary, or Yolanda. They'll reach out.
Let's get the website.
The VIP room, DC.com.
The VIP room, DC.com. Okay. All right. And from there, they can find the numbers of everybody to reach out
to.
The
pictures. And man, we thank everybody. We love everybody. Big, fat, short, and tall. VIP loves them all. I just made that up. I don't know, man.
I love it. I love it. It works.
I want to make a mention. We got to partner as big. We ain't gonna be here. There's no way in DC, people, if all my customers move out to Charles County, it's gonna take them 2 hours to get to the VIP. So we have to establish these businesses and partner together to help each other. We cannot survive by ourselves. And I want to encourage people every week to come to your podcast and learn something. That's how I stay afloat, because my research is current. What happened 3 years ago might not happen today. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to continue. You know, that's what I did. People knew me from getting music on the radio. God elevated me, and I'm able to book shows. I've done plays. I got all types of things. So you gotta, as a business person, you gotta change with the times. If you don't, you ain't gonna be here.
Well, I'm glad you were here with us today, and I want to thank you so much for being with us, and for being here, and for sharing the VIP room and your book and all that. We're going to, of course, continue. I like that partnership that you're stressing, and we're going to continue to do that. And I just want you to have a great holiday.
Okay,
make some money. Make some money.
I'd like to come back on here too when my book comes out, so we can all, including you, and do these things we trying to put together. It's gonna be big. I'm gonna bring everybody I can while I can, to try to use the national thing to blow this thing. All the artists, the businesses, everything. DC got number one. We the capital of the world. Let's be the capital of everything.
All right, I'm hyped. You did it. You did it.
I'm hyped.
All right, bro.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.